Good Thursday afternoon to you. Richard Scott here. I want to give you an update on the winter weather threat across Alabama. This update, by the way, 4 o'clock on this Thursday afternoon. Understand, keep checking back for updates. Our weather blog, Facebook, and Twitter. We'll have updates on there as well, so keep in mind things will continue to change. Winter weather in the south is quite difficult, and it will continue to be the case. Here's a look at radar. Got some rain and sleet falling across areas south, really along and south of Highway 80, Demopolis over towards Selma and Montgomery. That sleet and rain mixture make it as far north as Rockford now. And again, that activity is not going to amount to anything in terms of accumulation, but again, don't be surprised if you see some sleet pellets south of I-20 over the next few hours. Temperatures this afternoon as of 4 o'clock, 49 Tuscaloosa, Linden, and Montgomery. A bit cooler with the evaporative cooling process, 45 there in both Linden and Montgomery. Alexander City are reporting 43 now. Cold air is moving south. Another surge of that comes in tonight, and that's going to interact with moisture coming off a Gulf low, and that could bring some interesting weather to Alabama. Here's a look at the radar and satellite over the southeast. We've got a lot of moisture that is streaming northeast into Alabama. So this up here trough axis kicks more moisture inland. That's when we will start to see some precip across much of central Alabama later on tonight. Here is a forecast model. This is the NAM, just kind of show you what it's got for this event. Again, this is 4 o'clock right now, and again, that's where the rain and some sleet is occurring. Again, by around midnight tonight, things are still pretty quiet for the northern half of the state. Here's 3 o'clock in the morning, and this is when things start to change a bit. We got the surge of cold air that's diving south across Alabama. Rain that is moving northward may begin to transition to a wintry mix around 3 o'clock in the morning over West Alabama first, and areas are generally along Interstate 59. 6:30 in the morning, things should be pretty active across Alabama. We've got snow falling along Interstate 20 and 59. Possibly some pretty heavy snow somewhere in there, wherever this heavy snow axis, the deformation zone, sets up. I do expect some pretty heavy snow rates. Again, somewhere close to Interstate 20, if not just to the south there. And you see this computer model's got snowflakes as far north as Haleyville and Coleman. The models have been really shifting things north over the past few runs this afternoon, and that's in response to this low being deeper, also the low being a little further to the north. So that kind of puts our area in that sweet spot for some snow here in Alabama. So we have had to make some changes to the forecast. Now, 6:30 in the morning, I want you to note the temperatures: 34 in Demopolis, 35 Tuscaloosa, Birmingham 33, and you got below freezing temperatures up in the Tennessee Valley counties of North Alabama. That being the case, again, temperatures being just above freezing, that's going to really help limit travel issues. But understand with the snow, if it comes down heavy enough in this band somewhere across central Alabama, that's going to cause travel issues. It doesn't matter if you're above or below freezing. If the snow rates are heavy enough, that will cause temporary travel issues. Fortunately, as soon as the snow starts to let up, the roadway is just going to be wet. So, again, that's a very temporary thing. This is not like January 2014 where the road temperatures were below freezing. We were in the teens that day, and everything just iced over the roadways with a flash freeze. That's not going to happen with this because of the fact that temperatures are going to be close to freezing, if not just a hair above. Also, the road temperatures, again, are a bit warmer. Checking with the ground temperatures, they're generally in the upper 40s to around 50. So, again, surface temperatures at the ground are warm. So, initially, a lot of this is going to melt at first. So, let's go into midday. Snow still falling in places like Tuscaloosa and Birmingham and Anniston. I think the temperatures are going to be colder than that. Our computer model has a hard time with dynamic and evaporative cooling, so I do expect temperatures closer to freezing through lunch as well. But again, as we go into the evening hours, notice at 9 o'clock, there's still some snow out there, mainly southeast of Interstate 2059 by that point. Maybe still some over in Anniston and Sylacauga. How much we talking about? And understand this could greatly change, but this is what we think right now. So for places generally south of Fayette and Coleman, we could see dusting maybe up to a half-inch in spots. For Interstate 59 from Livingston to Tuscaloosa to Birmingham to Gadsden, areas along the interstate and points south, there could be over 1/2 inch. Somewhere in there could be totals as high as 1 or 2 inches. Again, that's going to be somewhere in central Alabama. Very hard to nail that down where it's going to happen. It's going to be where that rain-snow line sets up, where the cold air is perfect and the moisture is very rich. So again, that's going to happen somewhere, I think, between Highway 80 and Interstate 20 will be the kind of sweet spot, as we call it, for the best chance for accumulating snow. Again, this begins around 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock in the morning and ends Friday afternoon into Friday evening. If you're up around Hamilton and Haydenville, I don't think you see anything at all. Maybe some flurries, but that'll be about it. I don't think we have any accumulations that far north. There's going to be a pretty sharp gradient on the north end of where the snow does occur. So again, we'll have more updates on here. If you go over to Facebook and Twitter, we'll have information running on that as well. If you go over to my Twitter page, if you search at Richard WVUA23, that's my Twitter handle. I'll be on there updating information as well. So again, Twitter and Facebook, lots of updates going on. Also our weather blog. If you go over to WVUA23.com and hit the weather tab, there's an option for the weather blog. We got running updates on there as well. I do want to remind you we got our news at 5, 6, and 10 o'clock tonight. We are planning special coverage beginning at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. Depending on how this thing really unfolds, we'll determine what time we go on air, but more than likely about 5 o'clock we'll begin coverage in the morning, so you can always tune in and join us for updates there. So again, keep tuned. We'll continue to update you as information changes. Have a good evening. I'll have more updates coming up shortly.